If you've been with me for the last couple of weeks, we've been doing some position breakdowns going into the NFL draft. Well, there's one position we haven't touched on, and that would be tight end. That's one of the ones we haven't gone through yet because there's really only one tight end worth talking about, in my estimation. And tonight, we're going to do a deep dive on him. That's right, it's Brock Bowers night, it's Wednesday night, and we're live. And welcome everybody to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm watching K99. It is Wednesday night, time for the Wednesday night live show, the highlight of my week as far as recording goes. So it is going to be a pretty exciting Wednesday night. I'm going to lay some gospel down, as The Rock would say. Some folks will agree with, some they will not agree with, but I will say this: I've done what I feel to be a pretty deep dive on tight end Brock Bowers. A lot of Jets fans want him. A lot of fans don't want anything to do with him. So I'm going to tell you where I stand on the issue, and we're going to get to know Mr. Bowers in depth. All right, but before we get into the football tonight, let's talk about what's on my mind with a little bit of what we call three and out. So the first thing I want to mention is the NCAA tournament. The one thing I was able to post this week because I had to do some traveling, had some personal stuff going on, but I was able to go out to a place called Sports and Social in Cary, North Carolina, and watch the NC State versus Duke Elite Eight game. I was with several hundred people, almost everybody rooting for NC State, and guys, what a night this was. It's about a four-level sports bar, and I think one of the screens literally goes up three stories. I mean, it is that huge. But to see NC State pulling off this just unbelievable run to make it to the Final Four for the first time in 41 years, absolutely crazy. I mean, this team takes a four-game losing streak into the ACC tournament. If they could find a way to beat Purdue on Saturday and then UConn or Alabama on Monday, this may be the biggest underdog national championship story in the history of NCAA basketball. But Purdue, it's going to be a challenge. They're on a revenge tour. Last year, they lost to Fairleigh Dickinson, which was a 16 seed. They're trying to win their first basketball championship in school history. Now, the thing with this game is the Wolfpack, they don't go very deep. Okay, they play Kevin Keats, their head coach, goes about 7 players deep. That's about it. So Keats is going to have to do some creative mixing and matching. Because when you're playing against Purdue, you got to deal with Zach Edey, who's going to be the player of the year, and that usually requires a lot of fouling. Because the matchup to watch is DJ Burns from North Carolina State and Zach Edey of Purdue going against each other down low near the basket. Burns cannot get in foul trouble early for NC State. Edey has been dominant. Through 4 games in the NCAA tournament, he's averaging 30 points and 11 rebounds per game. He's taken 54 free throws in 4 games. That's crazy. He's made only 66% of them, though. And not only that, it's more than him. He is the anchor of a team that is second in the country in three-point shooting. Purdue makes over 40% of their three-point shots. So watch out for Fletcher Lawyer and Braden Smith, both of whom shot 44% from three during the regular season. But in the last 2 games, NC State held both Marquette and Duke to a combined 9 of 51 shooting from three. All right, so I want Burns and Ben Middlebrooks to go at Zach Edey, make him defend, get him into foul trouble. And the other game, Alabama against UConn, well, it's going to be about Alabama's shooting. That's what they're all about. Alabama's all their field goal attempts, 47% of them have been from three. It's going to have to be one of those nights. When you're going against UConn, you got to play a damn near perfect game to win. UConn's looking to go back-to-back for the first time since any team did it back in 2006 and 7. UConn has won their 4 NCAA tournament games by an average of 27.8 points per game. They have been dominant. They've won 10 straight games by double digits. And just quickly, Tristan Newton's an All-American. You've got Cam Spencer, Alex Karabon. Stephon Castle is going to be a freshman lottery pick. And then you have Donovan Clingan as the most dominant defensive player in the country. The only way Alabama wins this game to me is to play like Villanova did against Georgetown in 1985, where they just shot the lights out. It's going to take that kind of a performance. So that's going to be Saturday night. Interesting, both those games are on TBS and not CBS. I don't know why these games can't be on just broadcast TV, but that's what it is. All right, over to hockey. And just a few minutes ago, the New York Rangers defeated the New Jersey Devils. What a start to this game this was. 8 players ejected 2 seconds into the game as an all-out brawl erupts on the ice, led, of course, by Matt Rempe of the Rangers. So 12 years removed, the same thing happened way back then. It has happened again. Now, because of that, each team lost 4 players. Okay, they almost like a fifth of their roster was out. So both teams were going to be dealing with fatigue. The fact the Devils played the night before and the Rangers didn't, you knew it was going to be a bit of a problem for New Jersey. Rangers go up 2-0, but the Devils come back in the second period. They wind up taking a 3-2 lead, and Kaapo Kakko ties it for the Rangers early in the third. And with under 5 minutes to go on a power play, Chris Kreider with the tip-in goal, his 36th of the season. It's a 4-3 Rangers win, their 13th third period comeback of the season. You cannot count this team out. Their 25th comeback win overall, and now with about 6 or 7 games left in the regular season, depending on the team, the Rangers are 5 points up on the Carolina Hurricanes for first place in the Metro Division. Hurricanes have 7 games left, and the Devils, well, they're about out of it. They have lost their last 3 games to Buffalo and Pittsburgh, 2 teams that they needed to really hold off if they were going to get a wild card berth. And now they lose to the Rangers in regulation as well. I think the Devils are in a whole lot of trouble. And as far as the Islanders go, well, the other night they edged out that just powerhouse team, the Chicago Blackhawks, 2-1, with 2 goals in the third period. They are still alive in the race for the playoffs. They have 7 games to go. Now, the Eastern Conference is looking really, really tight. So here's what's going on. The Flyers are third in the Metropolitan Division with 83 points. Washington is 4th in the Metro and has the second wild card spot with 82 points. Detroit, who's in the Atlantic, also has 82 points. All right, so you got 2 teams tied for the last wild card. Okay, then right behind them, 1 point back, you have the Islanders at 81. You have Pittsburgh behind them at 79. Now, both the Capitals and Flyers have been falling off. Flyers have dropped 5 games in a row, and Coach John Tortorella cannot stop ripping the team in press conferences. The Flyers look like they're about to fall off a cliff. And the Capitals have dropped 3 in a row. They're not doing much better either, but the Capitals and Flyers struggles are keeping teams like the Islanders and Penguins in the mix here. It is going to be a fascinating last week and a half of the NHL season. The regular season actually ends April 18th, but the last Eastern Conference games are actually 2 weeks from tonight, Wednesday, April 17th. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes down. So by the time we're on the air, 2 weeks from now, we will know what the playoff matchups are going to look like. All right, let's spend a minute on baseball here. Yankees got a big win today against the Diamondbacks, 6-5 in extra innings. They had to, of course, the Yankees had to get the relief pitcher out to end the game because the Arizona bench was empty. Lame way for a good game to end, but Anthony Volpe, Oswaldo Cabrera are killing it. You still can't trust this bullpen very well. You certainly can't trust Clay Holmes as a closer, but the Yankees are now 6-1. And as far as the Mets go, I got to take a minute and talk about the Mets here. You know, they have not played the last 2 days because of rain, and I think it was a mental break needed for the fans, but this team has to be on the field. They are 0-4 for the first time since 2005, and I look at this last game against Detroit. It was just another anemic showing from an offense that went 0-6 with runners in scoring position, left 9 stranded on base. The offense had 5 hits all night, and they have scored 1 run or less in 3 of their 4 games. Brandon Nimmo, Francisco Lindor, Jeff McNeil, a combined 3 for 44 at the plate to start the season. Absolutely unacceptable. If the Mets, the last time the Mets have gone an entire season wire to wire, not hitting 500? 1965. And the Mets have had some crap seasons. I've been alive for a lot of them, but they have never had a season that bad since 1965. Now, they signed Julio Teheran today to boost their starting rotation. He's 33 years old. We'll see what winds up happening. But with Tyler McGill seemingly going on the injured list with a shoulder injury, and the Mets having basically 2 weeks where they don't get a day off, they need some reinforcements for that starting rotation. So it is not a very good time to be a Mets fan. But again, it's 4 games in. It's not a situation where you can say, well, this guy sucks, trade him, trade that. The overreacting is just painful to look at. And I got to hear guys on the radio today ripping Francisco Lindor that he's not doing his job. A lot of really good players have been slumping up until today. Olsen, Judge, guys like that are off to terrible starts. All right, so I don't see why Lindor has to get picked out above everybody. All right, guys, so that is it for 3 and Out for tonight. Let's say hello to a few people in the chat. Talking to the great Hank G. He'll be by a little bit later. Thanks for checking in, man. The great Jets Mess channel member. Good to see you, my friend. I'm glad you're here. And we've got Sir Foul Player of Brooklyn. If I didn't know that, I would think that's my dad, but I don't think my dad would call himself that. But he was a foul player in Brooklyn. Senor Wicker, great game tonight. It was. Lafreniere is becoming a beast. Yes, Alexei Lafreniere has shut up all the bus talks. No question about it. Playing with Trocheck and Panarin. You know what? People are going to say, well, you're just playing with great players. You know what? You still need to pull your weight. You still have to create plays. You still have to fight for the puck along the boards. You still have to put the puck in the net. And Lafreniere is absolutely doing his job. No doubt about it. He is, ever since he shaved the beard and went down to just the mustache, it really seemed to work. So, yeah, I can think of a few other athletes that might benefit from that. But yeah, great win for the Rangers tonight. Even though it looked a little scary for a while. Oh, by the way, TNT, can you show the national anthem, please? You got John Brancy, one of the best in the world, doing it tonight, and you can't televise the national anthem. Can you please do that? But I'm not going to kill TNT for their coverage, because I'll take Darren Pang over Ray Ferraro any day of the week, doing the sideline stuff. And again, TNT did one thing right. They didn't hire Sean McDonough to do play-by-play. Because here's my thing with play-by-play, guys. Okay, here's how it is for me. I want them to be distinctive. I want them to have a sound. When I turn on a game, no matter what sport it is, I want to know immediately who it is. I feel that way with Summerall and Madden going back to my youth. Jim Nantz, I feel that way about him. Marv Albert, certainly. Sam Rosen, that voice immediately. Not a lot of people love Doc Emmerich. I think it's kind of split. But Doc made every game feel big. He did have sort of the high-pitched voice. I know that. But he had a way of making games feel big. Sean McDonough is completely monotonous. He has the most monotone, dull, airport security voice imaginable. So, yeah, I do. I dread him calling the Stanley Cup Finals. But it might be a situation. The TV goes on mute, and I turn up the radio and just try to sync it up. Yeah, Mess, how about that fight, huh? TNT did not do good camera work. I mean, if the announcers didn't say, Brandenburg didn't say there were 4 or 5 fights going on, you barely would have known because it was just focused on the Rempe fight. That's pretty much where it was, and all those players get thrown out of the game. Each team lost, I think, 2 defensemen and 2 forwards. So crazy stuff. All right. Well, boys, let's get into the main content tonight. It's time to talk a little New York Jets football, so I think that means I need to suit up. Oh, yes, there we go. Now I'm ready to go. Let's say it together. Say it loud. Say it. Let's talk a little New York Jets football. First, we're going to get into the news of the week, and we're going to play our favorite game. It is pretty much a weekly tradition. We say hello to the great Johnny Jimenez, bringing the language tonight to New York Sports WickerMedia. And it's 10 o'clock. Nobody cares anyway. All right, Brock Bowers time. Yes, we're going to get into BB in just one moment, but we have to play our favorite game, and it is called Who Left the Jets This Week? So let's recap where we've been since the season ended. First, it was Rex Hogan, assistant GM. He found a new opportunity to leave, and
he gone.
He gone. Chad Alexander, Vice President of Player Personnel, heads out to the Chargers.
He gone.
And then from there we go to Rob Calabrese, the quarterback coach. We still don't know how he ever got hired.
He gone.
He gone as well. It's on to Laken Tomlinson. Very expensive paid guard. Somebody pretty much every Jets fan was in favor of. Came from San Francisco, knew the coaching staff. It did not work out at all, and he still doesn't have a job.
He gone.
He gone as well. And then it was on to C.J. Uzama, the tight end, formerly from Cincinnati. Came over to give some leadership and hopefully some production to what had been a barren spot on the offense for the Jets going back to Dustin Keller. Well, how'd that work out?
He gone.
He gone as well. He didn't have a job either. Then it was Bryce Huff, signed with the Philadelphia Eagles. Bryce, we appreciate you, but it's just business. We wish you the best.
He gone.
He gone as well, but I'd say he got replaced. And then from there, it was on to Jordan Whitehead, safety. Played great against the Bills and not too well against most other teams. Got his interceptions, but you couldn't count on his tackling. Decision had to be made. He had to go.
He gone.
And he gone as well. And then Quentin Jefferson, defensive tackle, good pass defender. Got to the quarterback more than a couple of times. Not so good against the run. Jets had an opportunity to go a different direction. They did. Jefferson is on his way to Cleveland. So
He gone.
he gone to end this week. The special teams ace, 30-year-old Justin Hardy, been with the Jets for 3 years. A lot of Jets fans like him. Some Jet fans choose to focus on the penalties that he did take. But you know what? I'll take a few penalties for having a little bit too much aggression than I will over a lack of concentration penalty. Hardy was just a very good player. He was, he got paid a little over $5 million total. I'd say that contract worked out very well. So when people want to talk to you about how Joe Douglas fails at free agency, this is one of, I think, several examples that shows that he has signed some very good deals. So now going forward, who's going to take the job? Will it be Irv Charles? Will it be Isaiah Oliver, signed from San Francisco? Maybe it's Mr. Irrelevant in the draft, a new undrafted free agent. And I got to tell you, there was a noticeable difference in the Jets punting game when Justin Hardy was on the field and when he wasn't. When Hardy was on the field in 2 of 11 games this year, the Jets allowed 40 yards or more returned and no touchdowns. When Hardy was not there, the 6 games he did not play, in 4 of the 6 games, they allowed over 40 return yards or more, plus they allowed that one infamous touchdown to the Chargers. He was on the field when the Patriots had the walk-off punt return a few years ago, thanks to the Braden Mann line drive. Sorry to bring that up. But you know what? I will say this. Irv Charles had the highest special teams grade of all Jets players last year with a 90.3, and that was in his first NFL season. So you have him, you have Oliver, you have Kenny Yeboah. You might really need to bring Ashton Davis back. So, in a league now where special teams are going to be relied on a little bit more than they have been before, Justin Hardy goes off to Cleveland. So, Mr. Hardy, we thank you for your time, and we wish you well in your future endeavors. But he gone to onwards and upwards we go. Thank you, Justin Hardy. Salute to you. Harlan Abraham is here. Howdy to you, my friend. I'm glad that you are here with us tonight on a Wednesday night as I record live from the studio apartment in Newport News, Virginia. We got some pretty heavy rain outside. I know there have been some tornado warnings kind of coming through the state today. I think it's more in Culpeper, which is a little bit of ways from me. Virginia is one of those states you could drive like 5-6 hours, still be in the same state. It is pretty crazy. All right, we're going to get into some more news, and the big news today did not happen with the Jets, but it happened to a team in their division, and that was Stefon Diggs being traded to the Houston Texans. I was at my desk trying to work. Well, it wasn't my desk. It was actually, I think my desk I use here for the show is bigger than what I have at my job, but that's another story. But the news comes across from Adam Schefter that I see the Bills have traded Stefon Diggs, and I was hoping hard it was going to be an NFC team. It turned out to be the Houston Texans. Of course, immediately I see one person say, why couldn't the Jets do this? Yeah, like the Bills were ever going to trade Stefon Diggs in their own division, as if that was ever going to happen. But I see the trade compensation, and it just amazed me. So to Buffalo, it's just a 2025 second-round pick. So that's next year's second. And to Houston, they get Stephon Diggs, a sixth-round pick this year in 2024, and a fifth-round pick in 2025. So that is, man, I would think the two late picks would have been going the other way. But, Houston was willing to take on the entire cap hit. As a matter of fact, they recently restructured their right tackle, Titus Howard. And I think some people were wondering why they were doing that. Well, here you go. This is pretty much the reason why they made that decision. This was the part, though, that really, really amazed me. So Diggs was going to count $27.9 million. We'll get to that in a minute. $27.9 million on the Bills' salary cap this year for being on the team. Okay? By trading him, though, they are now taking on a $31.1 million dead cap hit. Okay, so it is costing the Bills an extra $3.2 million to trade away Stephon Diggs in what I think is going to be a bad trade. That is the highest dead cap hit for a non-quarterback in the history of the NFL. Oh, and by the way, it's not just this year they have the dead cap. Oh no, it's not just that. So it's $31 million this year, and then next year, I think we have it somewhere around here, but maybe we don't. Let's see. Okay. I'll just read it for you. So in 2025, they have a 22 million cap hit. 2026, a 13 million cap hit. In 2027, a 5 million cap hit. That means it's a total cap hit of almost $68 million over the next 4 years. The Bills basically asked Houston, just take him off our hands, please. Seriously, did Nick Caserio, the Houston general manager, have naked pictures of Brandon Beane's family or the Pagula family, the owners of the Bills, or something? I mean, is he getting a lifetime supply of Anchor Bar wings or something like that? Because this trade looks absolutely ridiculous on the surface. So we look at what we have here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. The Houston offense right now, and remember, the Jets host Houston again this year. Second year in a row that they're playing. You've got C.J. Stroud at quarterback. Running back Joe Mixon, they gave him a new contract after they acquired him from Cincinnati. And wide receiver, this may be the best 1-2-3 punch you're going to find in football in Diggs, Collins, and Dell. Plus, you still have guys like Noah Brown and John Mechie behind them. Dalton Schultz at tight end, very good piece to have. And an offensive line that's pretty good. Laramie Tunsil, excellent left tackle. Kenyon Green, Juice Scruggs, Shaq Mason, and Titus Howard. And you've got backups like Jared Patterson, one of Rusty Spooner's old favorites. He's still kicking around there, too. So you have a good, deep offense. And Dameon Pierce as another running back, more of the power running back instead of Mixon, if his game goes to hell. So stopping that Houston offense next year is going to be a challenge for anybody. So that battle, the Houston offense against the Jets defense, it's going to be fascinating. And then the last thing I want to look at is the Bills wide receiver room. Look at what they have right now. Their number one wide receiver right now is Curtis Samuel. Now, we like Curtis Samuel. I know Nick Scheim wanted him desperately on the Jets. But Curtis Samuel is your number one receiver. Then you have Khalil Shakir, who's fine, a good up-and-coming receiver, but what's his upside? KJ Hamler, who gets hurt a lot. Matt Collins, who's more of a special teams player. Justin Shorter, Andy Isabella, who is just drifted around the league, even though he was like one of those talked about little wide receivers, maybe the next Wes Welker. He's not even the next Wes Westrum. Okay. So, the Bills wide receivers, they ain't got too much going on. But then you look at what they have going forward, what the Bills do in this draft. Now, they've got a good number of picks, but they've got only 2 picks in the first 3 rounds. They've got number 28, number 60, but after that, they've got 128, 133, then 144, 160, 163, 200, and 248. So right in that 4th, 5th round, they're going to have a lot of picks. Maybe they package some of those up and move into the 3rd round. But we've talked about it before. This is a super, super deep wide receiver class. You can get some good receivers in the 4th round, maybe even in the 5th round too. So it's going to be interesting to see who's available for the Bills because I think a lot of offensive linemen are going. I think at least 5 or 6 before number 28, at least 4 to 5 quarterbacks. And several wide receivers are going quickly, at least 3 or 4. But maybe they have a chance at an Xavier Leggett, at a Keon Coleman, Maybe they go after a Troy Franklin and Xavier Worthy. It'll be very interesting to see where the Bills choose to go. But you know that Fresh Prince meme when Will's standing there in the living room, kind of like all by himself after everybody's moved out. That's Josh Allen right now. He's just like, where everybody go, man? Where everybody go? So that is basically Josh Allen for you right now. And I don't want to say the Buffalo Bills window is closed. I don't want to call them dead. I want to see what they do in the draft first. But I'll tell you what, the chances of the Jets winning this division, in my mind, went up, and it went up substantially that they don't have to deal with Stephon Diggs again. Well, they'll only deal with him for one game instead of two. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of other news. I wanted to mention Justin Simmons. I see there's a lot of people who want the Jets to bring Simmons in to play safety. Hey, you know what? He'd be a great addition. All right, let's talk about Simmons a little bit. Uh, he was named to his second Pro Bowl and fourth second-team All-Pro selection last year. Since he came into the league in 2016, nobody has more interceptions. Simmons has 30 picks, okay, since coming into the league. But Simmons is a fine player, good teammate, good leader, great combination of size, speed, and reliable tackling, which the Jets have not always had at the safety position the last few years. The problem is they only have about $1 million left in cap space right now. And that's after you factor in signing your draft class as well. Okay, so if you're going to bring in a player like Simmons, you're going to have to do some restructuring. John Franklin Myers is making $16 million this year. He's the number one candidate. Ty Conklin is making $9 million. DJ Reed is making $15 million. Not that Conklin or Reed are going anywhere; they're not. But they might have to do a little bit of restructuring with, with signing bonuses and things like that to open up another couple of $1 million. If you're going to bring in a Justin Simmons, or shoot, if you just want to bring back Ashton Davis for maybe $2 million a year, because the Jets still need two more safeties. And I expect one of them to come in the draft, but I still would like to see them sign somebody else. Man, if they hadn't lost Trey Dean to Kansas City at the end of the year last year, right? Yeah, Trey Dean would be fitting the job right now. Funny how we talked about Trey Dean in a while, have we? All right. But I haven't had a chance to come on the air since Hassan Reddick was traded to the Jets. That was on Friday. I was in the middle of a 3.5-hour drive down to North Carolina. There just was no time to stop and a lot of things to do this weekend. There just wasn't really time to record a full video on it. But just to give you a couple of thoughts, I love the trade that it's going to be a third-round pick. I don't expect Reddick to play 67% of the snaps and get 10 sacks because we know the way the Jets love to rotate their defensive linemen. And the fact that the pick isn't even until 2026 is a massive win. Reddick is one of two players to get 10 sacks or more in each of the last 4 seasons, the other one being Myles Garrett. I don't think the Jets are going to sign him to an extension. I think if they were going to, they would do it immediately. And Reddick is a better two-way player than Bryce Huff, better playing the run. And if they let him go and get the extra third-round pick back through the compensatory process, you know what? So be it. But, Reddick can play all 3 downs. Bryce Huff was not really that player, unfortunately. Not at this point. Maybe he'll become that player. But the Jets went with more of a sure bet with Reddick. I did not see that happening, but I'm very, very happy that Hassan Reddick is a Jet. And from everything you're seeing on social media, Reddick is really happy to be a Jet too. Okay, wow, it's almost 10:30, and we're just going to get into the main event of tonight's show. It is time to talk a little bit about Barack Bowers. Had to do a little Paul Heyman style since he's going to the Hall of Fame this week. And 2 nights he's going to get inducted. Although, in his case, I figured he'd be getting indicted. Anyway, the case for and against the Jets drafting Brock Bowers. So we're going to talk about who he is, his stats, his measurables, his pros, his cons, his scheme fits, the player comps, the team fits. We're going to get as deep into this as we can. I am going to try to do a little bit of video here. All right. Not 100% sure this is going to work, but I'm going to give it a chance. All right. So let's see what we can do. So the bio with the measurables. He is 6'4", 240 pounds, just turned 21 years old earlier this year. He runs a 4.48 40-yard dash. That is in the 98th percentile of all tight ends. Amazing speed. Here's all you need to know. This guy gets used on end-around plays. And when was the last time you saw any NFL team use a tight end around? Not something you're going to see all that often. All right, so I'm going to see if we can pull this off here. There we go. All right. All right, so I'm going to see if I can move this over. Let's do video, widgets, entire screen. All right, let's see. Okay. All right, I'm going to do a quick next on this. Hopefully everybody can see the video. I'm just going to double check here in the chat because it's the only way I have. Yep, okay, there we go. So let's watch this play together. I'm not going to break it down in full depth, but we'll watch it through a time or two. All right, so you'll see Bowers towards, I believe, the top of the screen. There's the separation, and man, even defensive backs don't really have much of a chance against him with that acceleration, with that speed. Let's watch it back one more time. I mean, number 6 shit has a good angle, not doing anything wrong. He just can't keep up with him. It's really that simple. 6 points for the Bulldogs. All right. So we'll flip back and forth between those a couple of times here. Okay, so let's go back here. We're getting a little bit extra creative tonight, but all right, so let's pull the slides back up. There we go. All right, so then with Bowers, also a 41.5-inch vertical leap, so he can get super, super high. He doesn't have the biggest catch radius here, but he can get super, super high, knows how to, kind of like high point the ball. He knows when to jump, where to jump. He's very good when it comes to doing that. His hands are 9 3/4 inches, not too, pretty much average, pretty much an average hand size. Okay, let's go to the stats. Now, in 2023, he had 56 catches on 71 targets for 882 yards, 13 touchdowns, 27 first downs. Okay, so 56 catches, and 40 of them were either a touchdown or a first down, and he only had 2 drops all season long. Not too bad. Now, for the 3-year career, he's got 175 catches for 2,541 yards, 26 touchdowns, a 78% catch rate, 1,487 yards after contact. All right, that's over half of his yards that he's getting after contact. For a receiver, that's awesome. A 4.4% drop rate, which you can handle. You can live with that. He has forced 44 missed tackles, best in the country. A 75 point, if you want to look at the blocking, his PFF grade for pass blocking is 75.7 and 69.6 as a run blocker. But if you look at the Georgia quarterbacks like Stetson Bennett, when they are throwing Brock Bowers the ball, when they target Bowers, their quarterback rating is 148.9. That's not too far off from a perfect rating. All right, so those are the stats I wanted to get in as far as that goes. Oh, and specifically with the run blocking, he ranked 16th out of 153 eligible tight ends on 175 run blocking snaps. So he ranks in the very upper echelon when it comes to the run blocking. Okay, the honors, the awards he has received. He is a team captain, 3-time All-SEC first team. He's only played in college for 3 years. He's now a junior, 3-time All-American, and a 2-time John Mackey Award winner, which is given to the best tight end in the country. So he has won basically every honor that you could want there. Career usage. Okay, so he has been kind of moved into a number of different roles playing in college. He plays 38% in line, basically in that traditional tight end spot right next to the offensive line, 53% in the slot, and 9% out wide. So he can play in all kinds of different positions. I don't know if you would want to use him in a wide out role, like vertical routes in the NFL against cornerbacks. I don't know if that would make sense, but if you're talking about crossing patterns where he's, testing linebackers, that is a way you could really get him to be a very dangerous weapon for you. But I don't know about him being used in the slot the majority of the time. That's how Georgia used him. But in the NFL, I would expect the inline to go up a little bit more. Okay. So, all right. So let's keep going here. And now we're going to talk about some of the pros. I'm going to bring in a little bit more video here, guys. Okay. So the speed, the athleticism, and the blocking combination. I'm hard pressed to think of another tight end who really has that. That we've seen over the last little while. I mean, Kyle Pitts up there. He might have slightly even a little bit better measurables. Kyle Pitts does than Brock Bowers because he brought a little bit more size to the picture. But like we've seen, we have not seen Kyle Pitts emerge as the most. He's not exactly Travis Kelce in his career right now. Okay. So let's pull up another video here. I want to show you another one here. All right, so let's go to things to do. The 33rd team. Okay. Video, StreamYard, things to do. That's better. All right. Let's watch this next play. It's Georgia against Florida. Look at the concentration. Look at that. Takes it to the house. His ability to track the ball down the field is really something else. Like the Florida coach right there is just like, are you kidding me? It's like, how do you stop him? How do you stop him? All right, let's watch it again. There he goes down the field. Yeah, actually, let's go back. Watch how he gets off the line. Boom. Right down the field he's going. And the fact that he had the footwork and the concentration, the feet and the mind to turn around, tip the ball up to himself, and then haul it back in. Really, really something else. Yeah, because the Florida defender got his hand on the ball first, right? Let's take it back again. I wish I could put this in slow-mo, but can't do that much. There's the tip off his hand, turns around, basically does a 360 and takes it to the house. All right, let's go to the next video. So this is Georgia against Auburn. All right, so it's a 2020 game, 301. So this is a pretty big moment in the game right here on 2nd and 11 for the Bulldogs. All right, so Bowers, I believe, is at the bottom of the screen. No, I'm sorry, my mistake. Over the middle. There he goes. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, and technically 3 could have had a shot at taking him down. I mean, he should have been dead to rights right there in the middle of the field, and he manages to power his way through. Let's watch it one more time. Over the middle, gets open, first of all, and then works his way right through the defense to the point where he almost makes it look almost effortless. Not super twitchy, just powerful strides is what he brings. Let's see. Not sure if I. Okay. I think I X'd out the end around. Okay. I'll stop sharing that, and we'll pull these other ones. I'll pull these other ones up in just one moment. All right. Let's pull the slides back up. All right. So some of the things that I really see with as far as him being an asset for an NFL offense. So the ability for him to create separation because of his smooth, powerful strides, his really good footwork. That's what he does so well. His lateral movement, super quick. He gets into the open field. We saw him track the ball downfield. And the other thing, he plays with a very, very high motor. It's not just that he may be the best pure pass catcher in this draft, wide receiver or tight end. It's not that just he can make amazing catches. It's not that he can outrun defensive backs, but he plays with an incredible level of intensity with a very powerful motor that doesn't let up. Because it's really important to me that these players are not taking plays off. Okay, because you can teach a whole lot of things, but you can't teach mindset. Ness, I'm gonna give you my prediction, what I want to see happen a little bit later on. If you want to go O-line the first 2 picks, I understand. I understand. So yeah, we will see. But again, you take what the board gives you. You have to take what the board gives you, and by the time you're getting to the third round, who knows what's still going to be out there. So you never know. Just don't get too married to the position too quickly, because we know the Jets aren't going to either. Because if you're so focused on one position, okay, the easy mindset is any other pick could be a mistake. Let's not do that. And I mean that for myself too. Okay. Now, also his blocking. Now, he is, I think, a good blocker. Maybe not a great one because he only has so much size. You're not going to see him pancake people in the NFL, but he knows how to place his hands and he has really good leg drive. So let's go to two more videos. I'm going to give you two more videos tonight. All right. So let's go to the share screen and I'll go back to this blank page. Yeah, you can tell here Trey is very specific with Brock blocks. Okay, so let's watch this. So Brock, obviously, is at the yellow circle down there on the bottom. All right, so let's watch him on this play. Pushing the defender back. So there's the leg drive. He knew how to push his hands. And as soon as he got his hands on him, the defender there was no immediate point of contact. There was no struggle. It was once Brock got his hands on him, boom. It's like the defender was just on ice. And he pushes him back about 10 yards. Let's see where this starts. So he gets his hands on about the 44, and he pushes him all the way back to about the 33 or the 34-yard line. So that's what Bowers can do. All right, so that's one. And let's give you one more blocking video. All right, so here's Bowers right down here. So now he's lined up basically in line with the offensive line. All right, let's take a look at this. All right, so now he's pulling. Nice drive there. Yep. Pretty good. Pretty good. Watch just a time or two more. He's got two defenders there. He goes for the outside one, trusting that the running back is going to beat the first one. So he gets out in front. All right, so he knew basically which one to go after. So a little juke there allows the running back to get there, but he's not getting to the end zone there if Bowers doesn't execute that block. One more time. All right, this gets him at the 12 and pushes him all the way back into the end zone. Touchdown Bulldogs. All right, so let's stop sharing there. Okay, and let's pull this back up. All right, now let's go on to a couple of negatives here as well. Want to be as fair as we can here. You have to be a little concerned about the size. 240 pounds, that may not be your prototypical NFL tight end. You wonder if he is going to be encouraged to add some weight, but if he does, to improve his blocking and things of that nature, does that slow him down? Because it's really the speed and the acceleration that makes him such a special athlete. Okay, now he hasn't run a very extensive route tree in college. He's basically, what he does, he just runs a lot of short and intermediate routes. He doesn't go deep all that often. And then he basically, the idea is get the ball in Bowers' hands, let him work his magic. That's the whole idea. His wingspan, not enormous, 78 and 2/8 inches. That's in the 35th percentile among tight ends in this draft class. And one thing that a lot of people do talk about is the contested catch rate. This year, he had 22% of his contested catches. He went 2 of 9. But here's the thing with that. Brock Bowers had 71 targets this year. 71. Only 9 were contested. He was in space constantly. The offense knew how to get him open. They knew how to get him in space. And Bowers was good enough and talented enough to create that separation where he didn't have to deal with as many contested catches. So to me, the low contested catch rate is almost a credit to Bowers that he found himself in tight coverage so rarely. That's just another way to look at that. He did miss 3 games this year with a high ankle sprain, but he did come back from that. Now let's get into the scheme fit here. If you're drafting Brock Bowers, you want an offense that plays a lot of inside zone, uses play action, and a lot of crossing patterns. I talked about that a moment ago to really attack the linebackers because linebackers are not going to be able to keep up with him. Maybe Ray Lewis would have in his prime. That might be about it. A run-heavy team, like a power-running team, like, the Browns or the Patriots, does not make sense for him. And, say whatever you want about Nathaniel Hackett, and he deserves all the slings and arrows. But his offense is considered very tight end friendly. I mean, look at guys like Jermichael Finley, Jared Cook, Robert Tunyon. Aaron Rodgers made all of them super, super successful. And I've said this before with Brock Bowers, and I've been chastised a little bit for it by other people, but that's okay. Bowers is such a unique package that I wonder if how long Hackett would take to know how to use it. The fact that Hackett took as long as he did to realize how good Breece Hall is, as how good he is as a pass catcher, that worries me. Would he know how to work with Brock Bowers? That does bother me, but at the same time, Bowers would outlast Nathaniel Hackett anyway. So to me, I'm not going to let that be as big of an issue as maybe I've let it be before. All right. So Bowers could be an amazing player in the NFL, but I don't. But I think he's a little bit more scheme specific than maybe some other players would be. Okay, so player comps. These are a couple of players that I have heard him compared to a lot. Yeah, Rob Gronkowski. He's faster than Gronk. He may not quite be the blocker Gronk is, but as far as the ability to put up numbers as a receiving tight end, it may be comparable. I've seen a lot of George Kittle comparisons. Their body movements, their explosiveness, their competitive nature, that competitive juice, very, very, very similar. Now, Kittle is a little bit more of a consistent run blocker, but Bowers is going to give you better yak ability. Evan Ingram, I think this is a pretty good comparison. They're very similar size. Brock Bowers, when you think body makeup, think Evan Ingram, Dalton Schultz. That's the kind of build you're getting. The receive first, block second tight end. But you have the versatility. You have the ability to extend plays as well. So I see a comparison with Evan Ingram, and that Ingram's been a good tight end. He's put it this way: if you draft Brock Bowers at 10 and you're getting Evan Ingram's production, that's not enough for me. It's just not. If that's the situation, I'm looking at I want at least 100 catches a year and double-digit touchdowns a year. That's what I've been looking for from a tight end. I'm drafting that high. But the other comparison I heard, and I like this one, was Mike Allstott, the former Tampa Bay Buccaneer fullback, who basically tagged teams in the backfield with Warwick Dunn. So when you watch Bowers run with the ball, you see a real tenacity, a real fierceness, a real focus, a real drive. And so when I heard the Mike Allstott comparison, I thought, yeah, I'd like to have a Mike Allstott on the team. That sounds pretty good to me. Okay. And when you look at the fits at the team, I'll get to the team fit in a moment, but really back with the scheme fit for a second. I think about the Jets specifically here. The Jets don't really have that true burner, that real deep threat. Of course, Mike Williams is tall; he can go deep, but he's not. He doesn't have the all-out blazing speed you would like. Okay, and the thing with Bowers is he, on throws of 20 yards or more in 3 seasons, okay, he caught 8 of 17 deep balls. Okay, so that was 17 in 3 years. He caught less than half, but it was for 293 yards and 3 touchdowns. All right, so he didn't catch a lot of them, but when he did, he made them count. But the best thing to do with Brock Bowers is give him a short to intermediate route and let him take it down the field. That is the best thing. Tight end screens, things like that. Brock Bowers would be absolutely lethal, especially with this new offensive line the Jets have going, which loves to pull, can run block, and can really, really get nasty. All right, couple of team fits here. Now, where is Brock Bowers going to go in the draft? That's the million-dollar question here, right? Well, the first team that makes sense is the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego, California, West Coast, United States of America. So San Diego has lost their top 2 wide receivers. They're down to Quentin Johnson and Joshua Palmer. Slightly better than what the Bills have, but not by much. At tight end, they have Will Dillsley, formerly of the Seahawks, and Hayden Hurst. Now that's a passable 1-2 combination, but it is limited. This team needs a pass-catching target for Justin Herbert in the worst way. Now, you got Jim Harbaugh there over now. Is that something that he's going to be looking at? Does he want to go offensive line? Does he want to go wide receiver? Or does he think the upside on Brock Bowers is so high that he is going to take him number 5 overall in the draft? And another team I'm thinking about is the Chicago Bears. The Bears have Cole Kmet long-term. They have Robert Tunyon. but they are drafting Caleb Williams, and every weapon will help. Realistically, at number 9, I'd expect wide receiver, but I wouldn't rule out the idea of Bowers going to Chicago. The New York Giants, this is an interesting one. Now, Darren Waller is expected to play football this year. He'd been debating it for a little while, but he's like the Brett Favre of tight ends at this point. Waller does not seem to be very excited about playing. It still would not surprise me if he retired before the year began. I just don't know if his heart's in it right now from everything I see in the interviews. His game fell off last season. The injuries are catching up to him, and the Giants are very short on receiving weapons. I mean, what are we talking about? Jalen Hyatt, Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton, Isaiah McKenzie. You got a lot of unproven guys and some players who are not projected to be difference makers. So they may be possible. I still think the Giants are going to go tight end, but you could see a possible fit there with Brock Bowers. And then at that point, you got to go to the Jets. I like the Jets depth at tight end. Tyler Conklin, though, right now is on the last year of his contract. We like Jeremy Ruckert, no doubt about it, but he's still an unproven commodity. Kenny Yeboah looks to be primarily a very, very good special teams player, but he doesn't get a lot of snaps on offense. And Zach Kuntz, ODU, we all love some Kuntz, but he's a great athlete. At this point, he's a complete wild card, and the coaching staff has not shown that they trust him enough to plug him in, to put him onto the field. And we all know, the Jets are very interested in tight ends based off their interest in drafting Michael Mayer last season, which, of course, they did not do. So there's no doubt the Jets are at least looking at it. You can even see it when Joe Douglas was interviewed during the Combine. The beat writers were trying to basically ask him if he had interest in Brock Bowers. Joe Douglas, of course, knew how to play it off. So, but put it this way, he definitely did not deny it. We'll put it that way. Now, after that, Cincinnati. Now, this is an interesting one. Cincinnati, they signed Mike Gesicki, whose game has really fallen off as well. After him, it's Tanner Hudson. Now, the Bengals are picking 18th, but to me, that is the team that cannot pass on Brock Bowers if he falls to them. Or they might even trade up a spot or two, but I think if Cincinnati has a shot at Bowers, they are definitely going to take him. And then Miami. This, to me, is the wild card. This is the pie in the sky. Would they go all in? Now, Miami is 21 in the draft. They got the 21st pick. Would they trade up, say, 4 spots to 17 and jump Cincinnati to get Bowers? So if you go up 4 spots, if you go 21 to 17, that is basically the equivalent of a 3rd-round pick. Now, the Dolphins don't have a 3rd this year. They've got a 1, a 2, and then nothing until the 5th round. So maybe they would give a 3rd and maybe like a late-round pick to Cincinnati to move up. Maybe they would give a 3rd next year as well. I mean, think about what that offense would be. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, A-Chain, Mostert, and now add Brock Bowers. Wow. It would be something else. I mean, I'm not saying it's what makes the most sense for the Dolphins, but let's be honest. The Dolphins, Stephen Ross, they want to make splashes. They do. They want to get the attention. They want to get the highlights. They want the YouTube videos. They want the clicks. That's what they care about more than how to win a game in the cold weather. How to win a big game on the road. When the other team is getting really physical with you, can you counter it? The Dolphins have not proven they could do that. So to me, I could see them kicking the tires on getting a Brock Bowers. All right. So, can it work? I mean, when you have a tight end as maybe your first or second pass catching target. The Chiefs made it work with Kelsey and Hill. The Lions have St. Brown as their number 1 target. Sam Laporta is the second receiving target on that team. The Bills opened up once Dalton Kincaid became the main complement to Stephon Diggs. And Dalton Kincaid, amazingly, is now the number 1 target on the Bills offense. All right. And Mark Andrews, he's been the most reliable target for years on the Ravens as they shuffled through wide receiver after wide receiver after wide receiver. Zay Flowers may help solidify that a little bit, but to me, Mark Andrews is still the first player that you're looking at in the Ravens offense. So, yeah, it could definitely work. If you have Garrett Wilson and then Brock Bowers and then Mike Williams, if Mike Williams is your 3rd option, plus you have Breece Hall and Ty Conklin as well, that's pretty good. Would you still like a little more wide receiver? Of course. But you can make the offense work with it, especially if Aaron Rodgers has the time to throw the ball. All right, so some of the predictions that are out there right now. So The thing is, he is sort of the name that people want to link to the Jets. I'm gonna minimize that a little bit. Yeah. We got the great Ron Weiss here. Typical Rangers win tonight, -3 defensemen. Yep. Down 2 forwards, down 2 defensemen, they came back. 25th comeback win of the season for the Rangers. As a matter of fact, you know what? Just real quick. For that, guys, we're just gonna do one thing real quick. Forgive me for this. All right. I don't want to do that for too long, but had to throw that in there, Ron. That one was for you. All right, so I got you, man. Heck of a game, no doubt about it. So with the draft spots, really though, it's interesting how it changes before and after free agency, right? Before the draft, it was really Fashanu, it was Fawaga. Those were probably the 2 names most likely projected to the Jets. Joe Alt was the pie in the sky fantasy. I don't see it happening to this day. Now it's really Bowers. I've all the mock drafts I looked at, whether it was on CBS, ESPN, the NFL Network, Matt Miller, Chris Trapasso, who's the other guy? Lance Zerline, Chad Reuter, who's a knucklehead, but anyway, Eric Edholm, Bucky Brooks, all of them in their latest mock draft have Brock Bowers going to the Jets at number 10. I've only found 2 exceptions. Daniel Jeremiah, who projected the trade up to number 5, where the Jets would go up to get Marvin Harrison, which, my God, if that happened, watch out. But he had Brock Bowers actually getting taken at 12 by the Denver Broncos. Now, we know Jeremiah is very in touch with the Jets. He and Joe Douglas are friends and all that good stuff. But Denver drafting a tight end? This coming from a team whose starting quarterback this year is projected to be Jared freaking Stidham, who makes Zach Wilson pretty much look like Aaron Rodgers? Jared Stidham? I'm sorry. I like Jeremiah, but I cannot buy that one. Now, Ryan Wilson from CBS Sports, he has the Jets taking Rome Odunze at 10 and passing on Brock Bowers, and he's got Bowers going to Cincinnati at 18. So the high spot for me where Bowers can go is number 5, and the low spot I see him going is 18. Okay, so I don't think he's realistically going to get there. Here are my conclusions on this. Okay, he's very, very intriguing. No doubt about it. He is one of the most intriguing prospects we've seen in a while. And I think a lot of teams are very intrigued by this. I look at the teams coming after the Giants. The Titans, they're going to go O-line. I expect it to be Alt. The Falcons, there's no shot they're drafting him. They have Kyle Pitts. The offense is loaded. They need help on defense. It's probably Dallas Turner. The Bears have Kmet, as I mentioned, at tight end. Could they add Bowers? It's possible. I'm going to say not likely, not out of the realm of possibility. Then come the Jets. And who comes right after the Jets? Teams that need quarterbacks. Minnesota, Denver, the Raiders. And it's really hard for me to imagine a team trading up multiple picks in the first round for a tight end. So here's the thing. If he gets past the Giants at 6, the Jets will be in position to take him. So do I want the Jets to take him? Here's the comparison I'm going to give you. All right, last night, if you're a WWE fan, I watched on Peacock the 2-hour documentary on Bray Wyatt. Great wrestler who passed away very recently and very tragically. But one of the things that Bowers said, that Bray Wyatt said, because he had such a creative mind, he always had ideas flowing. He always saw things like a little bit differently, always wanted to have like a lot of creative input. He was just very different than what other people had seen before in the industry, and he kind of changed the industry up. The quote that Bray Wyatt said about himself is, "I am the color red in a world of black and white." That's how I look at Brock Bowers in this draft. He is the color red in a black and white draft. He adds the intrigue, the mystery, the mystique. He adds the confusion to this draft, guys. He is the wild card that nobody really knows quite what to do with. Everyone recognizes his talent. Nobody denies it. But who's got the nerve enough to take the chance on him? We haven't seen a talent like him in a long time, especially at the tight end position. He's a top 10 prospect for sure, maybe a top 5 prospect. There's way more positives than negatives. The speed, the yak ability, the route running, the acrobatic catches, the focus, the concentration. There's no character questions. Not many negatives. I could explain practically any of the negatives, whether it's the contested catch rate, the weight, all that kind of stuff. But the thing with the Jets, I don't know if it makes sense. I just don't know if it makes sense here, guys, because Brock was playing injury late into his college career. It was an ankle sprain. Yeah, he was out a couple weeks, but he did come back. The thing is this. The tackles are still on one-year contracts. I'm not so much worried about the injuries. I'm worried about having to do this crap again next year. I want some long-term stability. That's what I'm looking for, or at least a chance to have some long-term stability. Joe Douglas has done an amazing job building up a roster for this year. As of right now, it's not the best roster going forward. When you look at the quarterback and the offensive line in particular. So it's going to be very interesting to see where the Jets do go in this draft. But for me, it makes the most sense to draft offensive line. If you have Bowers and Fashanu there, for instance, and Falaga, I'm going with one of the offensive linemen. If these offensive linemen are falling off the board and maybe the Jets want to trade down a little bit, if a team wants to move up for a quarterback and you take Bowers maybe in the teens or something like that, and you're picking up another draft pick in the draft as well, I could get with it. I would be in favor of that. But that is about where it would stop for me. If they just take Bowers at 10, don't have another pick till the third round, I'll be like, okay, I'll be like, all right, let's go with it. But I'm not going to be, I'm going to be shaking a little bit. That is my thoughts on Brock Bowers. I like him. I respect the talent. I just don't know. I think this is more of a luxury pick. And I don't think the Jets are in position to take a luxury pick where they are right now. So that's my thoughts on that, guys. So hope you enjoyed that breakdown. So here's what we're going to do. It is now 11 o'clock, 11:02 to be exact. So I think it's time for us to we did a little bit of we did a little bit of education, but now I think it's time for us all to have a little bit of fun. So you know what happens at this time every Wednesday night? After a hard week of research, of busting open the books, of pulling up the websites, of looking at the history of this franchise that we root for in vain so hard, I come up with a trivia question about the New York Football Jets that I present to you, the Jets fans, or the football fans in general. So, with that in mind, enter the trivia lab. I think I cut that off. Let's do it. No, that's not the right intro. Do one. It is me, Watu-K99 against the chat. All right. So you know what's going to happen here? I am going to ask you a question about the Jets. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to get the answer to that. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel the same without Hank here saying trivia time, does it? Hope Hank's doing well. But yeah, he'll be back. All right, so we are going to do a draft-related Jets trivia question. I'm going to put 5 minutes on my clock right here. Thank you, Harlan. Good job. And it is your job to answer the question. So let's put the question on the board. Name the 2 Jets drafted from the University. I'm going to blow it up all the way. From the University of Georgia, since Brock Bowers went to Georgia, who have played at least 100 games in their NFL career. The time is underway, guys. 2 Jets drafted from Georgia who played at least 100 games in their NFL career. Who are they? And if anybody's wondering, I apologize. I have had to retire the music, and this time for good. I got another copyright violation. I'm David. Hey, I know. David, I don't want any more copyright issues. I want to make a little bit of money one day on this thing, and copyrights do not help me. I love doing this, but I got subscriptions to pay for. We'll get yeah. It's very frustrating that I did after I downloaded it legally, I'm still getting violations, but I don't want any more violations, man. I just can't do that. All right, guys. So throw your answers in the chat. No Googling, please. Just try to rely on your knowledge. And these are, if you're a Jets fan, you've been a Jets fan for a few years. Yeah. All right. Here's what we'll do. Here's what I'll do. All right. That's it. That's the music for tonight. Jets mess is already tapping out. No clue, he says. All right. I will say this. They are both defensive players. Both played defense, and they're definitely Jets. It's not as if the Jets drafted them and they went somewhere else. They sound like Terrence Mathis or anything like that. Okay, so the two Jets drafted from Georgia who have played at least 100 games in their NFL career. Ah, 3 weeks till draft night, guys. 3 weeks. David Diaz, was it in the last 20 years? 30 years. 30-ish years, somewhere there. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to go to that 90s, 2000s time frame, decade of the 2000s, before the 2000, 2009, go in that 1990 to 2010 window, somewhere in there. As I get an alert about a Taylor Swift tribute show near me, yeah, I will pass on that. All right, guys, we've got about a minute, 30 seconds left to go. Just to give you a preview of what's coming up pretty soon, I will be doing, I'm thinking probably Friday night, I will be doing WrestleMania predictions. Maybe I'll go live for that. I don't know. But I will be doing WrestleMania predictions. The show, of course, will be from Philly on Saturday night and Sunday night. I think right now there are 13 matches scheduled. I think maybe after SmackDown, because SmackDown's like from 8 to 10 Eastern. I think after SmackDown, I'm going to maybe I'll do a prediction show Friday night. It might only be like a little 30-minute thing or something like that, depending on how many people show up. But I think I'll do a little WrestleMania prediction. We'll do that on Friday, and I think we'll do a recap too. All right, Nathan Colgrove says Chad Pennington. Chad Pennington went to Marshall University. We are Marshall. Yeah, 100 games is a lot. I mean, that's at least 6 years. We got 30 seconds, guys. All right. How do I narrow this down? Both played in the front seven of the defense. One went very early in the draft and one went very late, but they were Jets for a long time. Ooh, 10 seconds. I got to be honest. I didn't think this question was I figured the one answer was gettable. I thought one answer would not be too bad. One I thought was a little harder, but I thought this was gettable. David D says, as the timer has gone off, David D says Lee Cravat. Of course, it's Lee Cravat. It's always Lee Cravat. Yeah, why not? All right, guys. I'm trying to see how else I can help you with this. Defensive tackle and linebacker. I'll give you the positions. We'll give you another minute or so. Harlan Abraham says Jenkins. You mean Chris Jenkins? Chris Jenkins wasn't a Jets draft pick. Yes. If and obviously not Jordan. Jordan Jenkins. You mean? Not, it wasn't Jordan Jenkins. That's a good guess, but not Jordan Jenkins. As a matter of fact, I think when you first said that, I thought you meant Chris Jenkins. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to double check that. I think he just missed. Yeah, Jordan Jenkins played 83 career games. He played from 2016 to 2021. So he was in the league for 6 years, played 83 games. So that was a good guess, man. That was a good guess. So yeah, good try with that one. David D says Kerry Rhodes. No, it was not Kerry Rhodes. He didn't go to Georgia. Jets Mess says Mo Lewis. Is it Mo Lewis? You got it. It was Mo Lewis. He definitely hit the 100 game mark and hit it by a long shot. That one I thought was pretty gettable. There's one other one who was drafted late in the draft, and he was a defensive tackle. And a very quietly good defensive tackle. Most of the Jets' defensive tackles, especially in the 3-4 situation, they tend to be good, but they go under the radar. You know, like Sione Pua, guys like that, you know? Yeah, this next guy is no different. I'll give you one other clue. I think this is going to give it away. Bill Parcells loved him. Even took him over to Dallas after he left the Jets. Anybody know who that might be? You guys, just a minute on this one. I think you could get it. Defensive tackle, drafted very late. Jets Mess says Jumbo. You don't mean Jumbo Elliott, right? I'm not sure who you meant by that. Jumbo. Or just throwing out a nickname, maybe. All right, guys, I'm going to give you the answer on this one, okay? So Mo Lewis was correct. He played 200 games. The other answer is Jason Ferguson. Played a long time in the NFL with the Jets and later with the Cowboys. Played 159 games. That's practically a decade of NFL football. So to play a nose tackle position for that long, yeah, that's a pretty good run. So unfortunately, the chat did not get the answer tonight, but a very, very good try, guys. All right, so I'm going to take a quick look. Let's see how we're doing here in the chat. All right, we're doing okay. Got a nice little turnout going. Guys, I'm going to ask you all. Do you want to? How about we do a mock draft tonight? We'll do. We'll just do one regular mock draft. I think tonight. Yeah, it's a little bit of a smaller turnout than we had last week. So yeah, let's just do one draft here and see what happens. All right, so I'm going to get this lined up. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll do one mock draft. Yep, Mess wants to do it. You got it, man. And then I think we'll call it a night after this. I think that'll work just fine. All right, so I am going to share my screen. All right, so let's hit allow. Maybe get rid of an ad or two. And I'm going to check on my side to make sure everything comes up the way that it should. Yeah, all right, that'll work. Maybe we'll zoom in I'll try zooming in a little bit here. Okay. All right, I've got it set up, 7 rounds, fast speed. The Jets are highlighted. Let's enter the draft. And I want to make sure, again, that at least 3 quarterbacks go. If it's not 3 quarterbacks, I'm starting over. All right. So, we had a trade. The Raiders traded up to number 9 to take J.J. McCarthy. Okay. So we had Caleb Williams, Drake May, Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison, Roma Dunze, then Fashanu. Fashanu went before Joe Alt. Interesting. Dallas Turner, and then J.J. McCarthy. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have available. Now, Brock Bowers is certainly there, as is Talise Fuaga. and Troy Fatanu. Some people like him. I know we got some JC and Latham fans as well. But let's take a look at the trade offers we have. We have two. One from our friends up in New England. I see any offer from them, and I pretty much want to throw up. Now they are offering us. This actually is interesting because obviously they would be moving up to trade for to draft Jaden Daniels, no doubt about it. So they would be giving us pick 34, 68, 103. So that would be what picks at the beginning of the second, third, and fourth round, plus their first round pick in 2025, which could be really, really good. Really could. The other trade we have is from the Rams, and they want us to go back a lot less, just 19 spots, but they'll give us 52, so we get a second round pick, plus we get a fifth round pick as well. Okay. So, all right, so let's see here. 1952 and 155 versus 34, 68, 103 plus a first next year. Okay. I wonder, yeah, so guys, let me know if you want to go Bowers, Fuaga, if you want me to go with the trade, and if so, do you want me to go Rams? Do you want me to go Patriots? All right, Nathan says take the Rams. Let's see what the Rams have. I always want to see if we can make it a little bit. All right. So here's my first thought when I see this. Why can't we move up one spot and take? Could you imagine if we switched this to pick 154 and they rejected it? It would be pretty funny, wouldn't it? I'm just going to try to move it up one. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can move it up one pick, but I always try to make these trades just a little bit better. Maybe like 10 picks or something like that, if there's a way I can make that work. But it doesn't look like that's an option here. So I'm just going to move it up to 154, and they accepted that trade. See, negotiating, guys, the art of negotiating. Okay. So in that stretch, let's see what happened. Daniels, of course, went immediately. Or I'm sorry, Terry and Arnold went. It was Terry and Arnold they wanted. Daniels versus Adu, Latham Fuaga. Brock Bowers went to the Seahawks. Then Quinyon Mitchell and Troy Fatanu, a guy I'm sure that a lot of people would have been very interested in. All right, let's take a look at the trades here. It's just one trade offer, and it's coming from the Rams. They want to give us 42 and 59, so they want to give us 2 second-round picks, but they want us to go down 23 spots, and they'll also give us 86. So that would be our first for 2 2s and a 3. I feel like we made one trade down. I'm not quite so sure I want to make a trade again. Yeah, David D, I think he's feeling the same way I am. Yeah, guys, remember, you got an opportunity to let your voices be heard. So, yeah, let me know what you want to do here. I think let's take a look who's available. All right. If you want to go with all right, this Pellegrino guy's got this Pellegrino guy's getting all right. I know I probably can't get rid of it, but I'm trying. All right, but we have Amarius Mims, very good developmental prospect from Georgia, just a little bit raw, but I will say this, that is the kind of prospect that you could draft and develop for a year because he hasn't played all that much. But taking him at 19, I wouldn't hate that. Brian Thomas, very, very good wide receiver. If you want to go with the interior line, you could go with JPJ in the spot if you really wanted to. I think those Tyler Guyton's there as well. I think it's pretty much Mims or Thomas. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think we're going to accept the trade, Harlan. I don't think we're going to go trade here. Marius Mims, 9.58 RAS, if you like that. He's got the mass, got the size. We've talked about him. Dominate pass protection, leverage as well. Road grader in the run game. Plays left and right tackle. Hand usage, relatively raw. Yep, missed time with an ankle injury. And just 8 career starts in college. So he has not played all that much. That is your big concern there. So, all right, guys. So let me know. Mike the Stat Guy wants Thomas Jr. Mike the Stat Guy's got PTSD from the name Mims. All right. Well, Mike, I'll be sure not to draft anybody from BYU either, if that helps you. All right. So I'll be sure to be careful there. Maybe we should avoid Louisville players too. I don't know. All right, guys. Well, I think we're leaning towards Brian Thomas, and remember, we've got pick 52 as well. So we've got our second round pick. So maybe if we were to go like a tackle, we could get like a Patrick Paul or somebody like that, who'd be a fine pick. You know, and maybe Cooper Beebe, we might have a shot at him as well. So there would still be some good options there. Nathan Colgrove wants to go with Amarius Mims, but right now it looks like Thomas is going to take this one. So I'm going to take 6'2", 209 pounds, 9.83 RAS score. I'm going to take Brian Thomas as a new weapon for Aaron Rodgers and the New York Football Jets. And here he comes. There he is. And now we take it to 52. There goes BB. There goes Malachi Corley already. Wow. All right. Let's see what we have here with trade options. So we got two. We've got Tampa Bay offering us pick 57. They want us to go down 5 spots for a 2025 fifth round. I'd be willing to counter that if they'll give us a 4 this year. I'm not trading down for a draft pick next year because we're not worried about next year. And then you got the Giants. They want to give us a second round pick next year and pick 70. And for that, we'd go down 18 spots and give them 154. Not a chance am I doing that. Here's what I would say. I would consider making this trade if I could take out the 5th round pick and get pick 125. Get a pick like early in the 4th round. I would do that. Okay. That's what I would do. I would counter this. I would not take the trade as is. So maybe I would counter it. All right. Well, let's look at who's available. T'Vondre Sweat, excellent defensive tackle out of the University of Texas. Texas got a lot of prospects in this draft. Yeah, a lot of Longhorns being called on during the draft. Troy Franklin, we talked about the speed, but got his questions there. The fact I feel like he should have been more productive. 6'1", 176, very kind of thin. Chris Braswell, if you want to go straight to the edge, although with Reddick, I don't know if you really need to do that. I don't know if I want to take another edge quite so early. Cameron Kitchens, I like him a lot. I've seen him mocked to the Jets a few times. There'd be nothing wrong with that. Chris Jenkins, Max Melton. I like Xavier Leggett, but we just took a wide receiver. Let's take Patrick Paul just went at 50. Ugh. All right. Yeah, a lot of the good offensive linemen just went. Yeah, Paul went, BB went. I think BB's up here somewhere, right? Yeah, BB at 42, Haynes at 40. So those are like the 3 that have been really, really good. All right, but we're not going to get a shot at them. There'll still be some decent ones to pick, but they're definitely projects. Like, with 72, we'll still have a shot at pretty much any one of these guys that we want. Or, a little bit later, you'll have a Garrett Greenfield or a Christian Jones. We can wait on those. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to look at offensive line. Hey, Snowball, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Yep, we are in the middle of a mock draft, and so far we made a little trade down with just for anybody who might be joining us, with the Rams. They gave us picks 1952 and 154. They wanted Terry and Arnold, and we took Brian Thomas Jr. We went wide receiver to start, and I'm seeing some love here for T'Vondre Sweat. So I got to tell you, I think that is a good way to go here. I happen to like Sweat. Doesn't have a great RAS, but he's got amazing size with good burst, good footwork. Him next to Quinnen Williams, that will create a very, very dangerous all-around defensive line. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if Saleh really wants a defensive lineman quite that big, but I'm going to take the chance that he does. So let's go ahead and take T'Vondre Sweat. All right. So we're going to take him at 52. All right. So let's say, let's just say a couple quick. Let's jump back into the chat. Say a couple of quick hellos here. There we go. Yep, we got the great proud NYJ fan. I'm assuming that's Nick under a slightly different name, unless it's J. Cole posing. Snowball, good to see you, my friend. I wore the shirt just for you. Yep, Mike the Stat Guy. I know he's been here for a minute, but I had a chance to recognize him in the chat, so I wanted to say hello to him as well. Okay. Yep, Nick did miss the trivia, and we stumped everybody on this one. So you'll have to check that one out a little bit later. All right, at pick 72, we had had a few good pieces go. Wow, Fisk, Melton, Brooks, Pearsall, Mahogany. These are all guys that we've talked about. Leggett went at the end of round 2. Kitchens went at the end of round 2. Man, this ain't falling the way I wanted it to fall. I'll tell you that right now. All right, well, we're going to look around a little bit here. We haven't gone to the offensive line yet. So far, we've drafted Thomas and we've drafted Sweat. So I feel like we need to at least look at it. All right, I didn't mean to hit that. Let's go to tackle. All right, so you got some projects here in Rosengarten and Amagaji. That's right. Fisher, maybe Delmar Glaze. You could still wait on that. Guard, you got some very interesting options in Pooney, Coleman, McCormick, Zach Zinter down there. You could take him a whole lot later on. Javion Cohen. At center, if you wanted to go there, you could get a Cedric Van Pran. A little later, a Tanner Bordolini. So that's what we're looking at there. Running back, there's still plenty of options as well. Nick, yep. I'll ask you a little bit later. Guys, if there's any position you want me to look at, feel free to ask because there's a number of directions we could go here. At defensive tackle, we got some good options. We got McKinley Jackson, Wayne Carter. Mason Smith is pretty good. I like Mekhi Wingo a little more. And again, why are we looking at defensive tackle? We just drafted Sweat. All right. Mike the Stat Guy wants to see the safeties. Well, I'll tell you what. I like Cole Bishop. I definitely like him. Kalen Bullock would be a very good pick as well. I like Bo Braid. I think he's maybe rated a little bit higher. I wouldn't put Braid. I don't know. I think I like Bishop and Bullock a little more than I like Braid, but I put him like top 5. But Bullock would be more of that center fielder, elastic, explosive long strider with elite center fielder range and disruptive reach. So yeah, he is quite good. Yeah, so he gives you that good center field ability. And Cole Bishop is more of a downfield player, 9.88 RAS, very, very hard hitter, very, very smart. Just knows how to take good angles to the ball. So I think that would work out pretty well. Harlan says Dominique Cooney is a good player, as is Van Pran. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. All right, if we look at the big board overall, we got Cedric Gray, linebacker at North Carolina. I'm not sure I could go linebacker right there. Roman Wilson, it's fine, but we did just draft a wide receiver. I don't mind taking another one a little bit later, but maybe a little bit soon. Bishop might make the most sense right now. Yeah, you still got some very good receivers and running backs to come. Yeah, but with offensive line, I don't know. Just one quick with the trades. I'm rejecting this, and I'm rejecting that. No. The Carolina offer was terrible, and I'm not taking a trade from our division. All right, guys, what do you think? I'm thinking Bishop would be a good way to go, or do we want to double up at wide receiver with a Tez Walker, with a Jalen McMillan, with a Roman Wilson? That would be fine too. Or do you want to go interior offensive line and draft Cedric Van Pran? We've got assist here. Bishop seems to be the value and need pick here. Yeah, I think that would work out pretty well. Okay. David D wants to go OL. Well, David D, who's the OL you want me that you're interested in here? Is it Van Pran? Is it Dominique Pooney, Brandon Coleman, Mason McCormick? Zach Zinter, I think, would be a great target a little bit later. We could maybe get Zinter with maybe pick 111. And we also have pick 134. I bet you we could get Zinter a little bit later on tonight, too. You like Van Pran? Okay. Yep, Nick, that was a question. 2 Jets draft picks from Georgia have played 100 games. Who are they? We got one answer right. Only one. And at tackle, you've got Rosengarten, you've got Amagaji, Blake Fisher, a couple other guys. Down a little later, you could get a Garrett Greenfield or a Christian Jones. This might be a draft where you have to, get some offensive linemen, but a little bit later and develop them, which actually is not the worst idea considering we have a big veteran offensive line right now. All right, I think the most love right now seems to be for Cole Bishop. I know Dom is a pretty big fan of his as well. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to take Cole Bishop with pick 72, our third-round pick will be the safety from Utah because we got a need for safety right now, and we're going to help fill that with Cole Bishop. And we go all the way to pick 111. And then after that, we've got 134. Okay, so let's see, take a quick look at some of the players who we lost out on. Michael Pratt to the Patriots. Okay. Yeah, Dwayne Carter. Renardo Green, I would say this. Renardo Green, that is a very interesting cornerback prospect. I don't know if the Jets would go cornerback in the middle rounds, but whoever gets Renardo Green, I think is going to be very happy that they got him. Yep, Amagaji went. Braylon Allen went. Jeremiah Trotter. There goes Van Pran, Pooney, McMillan. Yep, all those guys like right in a row. Yep, Bullet, Wilson. Yep. All right, let's go all the way down. That's what she said. And let's see what we have available. So if you want to go tackle, we could go with Blake Fisher. Now, Fisher is 6'5", 310, 7.68 RAS. Some people like him. Some people really don't like him at this point. But other options at tackle would include Goncalves still with a lot of injuries this year, with a really bad injury. He barely played. Yeah, I like Greenfield. I like Christian Jones. That's probably where I would go. We mentioned Zach Zinter is still there. Brandon Coleman, Mason McCormick. At center, probably about the only one I would go for now is probably Bortolini. Nick, I know you heard that one. Mike the Stat Guy said, is Malik Washington available? Is Brandon Weiss available? Nick, well done. Jason Ferguson. Nobody else got that one. Yeah, nobody got that. Wide receiver, yeah, we got them all. Wilson, Washington, Rice, Thrash, Luke McCaffrey. A lot of wide receivers to take. But if we don't take one of them now, we're probably not getting them back. Let's do a quick recap where we've been so far, guys. We got Brian Thomas, Tavondre Sweat, and Cole Bishop. So we're doing a lot for the defense here. This might be a pick where we want to go offense. Maybe the next two picks. Yep. Yep. Tortellini. I had that. Yep. So, it's a stuffed Tortellini. Yeah. Was Jordan Jenkins the other one? He was asked. He was mentioned. Jordan Jenkins played 83 games in 6 years. So he was close, but he was not quite there. Mike the Stat Guy wants to take Malik Washington. I like the way you think. I happen to like Washington very, very much. I like Brendan Rice too. Yeah, I think we're either going to go receiver here. I mean, running back. I think we could still get some good running backs later, like Jalen Wright. He's really good. We could get Isaac Orendo much later, and that'd be great. That'd be a great pickup. Marshawn Lloyd would be fine too. So yeah, we could still get a running back in a little while. Yeah. David D had some gnocchi yesterday. Very nice. I made a rigatoni dish. I made it with Italian sausage, cherry tomatoes, spinach, and goat cheese. So I cooked I'll make this. So I cooked up some onion in the saute pan, right? Then I cooked the spicy Italian sausage in the pan, broke that up, add a little bit of pasta water in there to help to start to make the sauce. So now you got the pasta water mixing in with the sausage fat starts to create the sauce, right? Add some garlic, bunch of spinach, cherry tomatoes cut in half. Might have been one other ingredient, some fresh parsley, and then after that was all mixed in, put the pasta back in the pan after the pasta was done cooking, put it all together, took it off the heat, mixed in some goat cheese and some Parmesan, and add a little more pasta water. So you got the cheese, the pasta water, and the fat from the sausage all coming together to make sort of like a light cream sauce is kind of what it was like. Fantastic pasta dish. Yeah, that was good stuff, man. Mo Lewis, yep, it was Mo Lewis. Yep, it was Mo Lewis and Jason Ferguson. David D likes Dylan Lobby. Yep, that's nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that. We could go, guys. We could really go. We could go quarterback, but I don't know if we want to do that right now. We could go. We got to go offense. I don't think there's any doubt there. David D, I would say this with the goat cheese: go easy on it. If you're not sure if you like it, just put in like 2 ounces of it. Go easy with it because it can get strong. And once it melts, that's pretty much it. So go easy with the goat cheese to start or just top it with the goat cheese. It's very hard to take it out. All right. I think, let's see here. Bortolini, McCormick. I think the players I'd be looking at would be Blake Fisher, Malik Washington, Brendan Rice, those three. Yeah, Mike the Sack guy's looking wide receiver. Assist wants offensive line depth, but yeah, Malik Washington is tempting. Put it this way, we ain't getting him after this. And again, you could still get some very good offensive linemen. Greenfield Jones to me would be very well worth it. Zach Zinter, I think we'll have a good shot at Zach Zinter at 134. There's no trade offer. And center, we miss out on Pasta here, but that's okay. Okay. I'm kind of getting the feel on Malik Washington is kind of where people want to go. I'm thinking we'll go wide receiver now, and then we'll try to get Zach Zinter with pick 134 or whoever the best offensive lineman is. So, all right, guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you I'll give you Washington. I think either Malik Washington or Brendan Rice. I'll throw in Blake Fisher if you want to go tackle. All right, guys. So that's what we're gonna do. So it's gonna be Malik. I'm gonna put the names in Rice or Blake. It's just and Nick, yes, it's too much to jump back and forth one browser to another. You know how it slows everything down. So. All right, guys. Man, we got a nice little turnout here, guys. Welcome everybody who's just joining our humble little Wednesday night extravaganza. Did a whole breakdown tonight on Brock Bowers, sort of like the Brock down is what it was. Breaking down just about anything you could want to know about him, all the way down to his shoe size, favorite food, and if he likes long walks on the beach. Hey, G! Oh, hey, G, you missed trivia time. Harlan had to say it for you. But welcome into the show, my man. All right, a lot of people going with Malik. Snowball wants Blake Fisher, though. Okay. All right, I think Malik is gonna. Yep. Arlen, thanks. Yes, definitely hit the like button. Yep, absolutely appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. All right, guys, I'm gonna go with Malik Washington with pick 111. And now let's see. Yep, I think we're safe. We do have one trade offer though. The Tennessee Titans. They want us to move back 12 spots from 134 to 146. And they will offer us the opportunity to trade out of the Mr. Irrelevant spot and go all the way up to pick 182. Nate McGee, welcome to the show, my friend. He wants to get a look at who's already been selected. Well, I will show you. We traded down from pick number 10 to 19, and we also picked up picks 52 and 154. So the Rams wanted Terrion Arnold, the cornerback. We picked up Brian Thomas at 19. We decided on him over Amarius Mims, and we picked up T'Vondre Sweat at 52 to help anchor that defensive line, the interior of that defensive line. And we also have 154, which we will pick later. So I got to tell you guys, I like this trade right now. So we took Thomas and Sweat. Then we took Cole Bishop, the safety from Utah, and Malik Washington, the wide receiver from the University of Virginia. So we've got 5 picks left to work with here. All right, 134, 154, 185, 256, and 257. All right, so that to me, let's take a look at the big board and see what's up here. So if we've taken 2 wide receivers, a defensive tackle, and a safety, we definitely need to adjust the offensive line. I'd like to get a running back, at least either a running back or a quarterback, and maybe a developmental piece somewhere on the defense. Now, Jalen Wright would be a fantastic pick. I think he's going to be a fantastic running back in the NFL. But, then again, how far can we really push off looking at offensive line here, right? So let's just see what's there. Yeah, and again, we have pick 154 here, so we could get tackle a little bit later. I'm just not a big Goncalves fan. I like him. He's talented, but the injuries are a very big concern of mine. At guard, yep, Zach Zinter is there. He is there, ready to be taken. Isaiah Adams from Illinois, Layden Robinson from Texas A&M. And you could go with Pasta Man right here at pick 130. Hank G likes that we went wide receiver so that Buffalo has one less to pick from. There you go. There you go. Mike the Stat Guy wants Jalen Wright, doesn't trust Izzy yet. Yeah, I can't say that I do either. But even later, we could still pick up another running back like Isaac Guerendo. If we got him with 154, guys, that would be great. You guys know I'm a big Jawar Jordan guy. I'm a fan of his. Blake Watson's pretty good from Memphis. Ray Davis is very good, but he's a little bit older. Amani Bailey's a useful prospect too. All right, Harlan Abraham wants Jones or Zinter. Which Jones? Which Jones? I must be missing something here. Harlan, which Jones was it? Christian Jones. Oh, of course, that's right. You're a Christian Jones fan. All right. I think it's probably going to be Zeg Zinter most likely. I think we're at the point where we just about need to take an offensive lineman. And Zinter, 6'5", 309 pounds, was a mainstay on the Wolverines' offensive line. Opened up a lot of holes for their running backs. And, very relentless player. I'm going to take the chance that we could get Christian Jones at pick 154. And even if we can't get him, Garrett Greenfield would still be a fine pick in my mind. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to take Zach Zinter from Michigan at pick 134. There go both running backs. Okay, and now we're at 154. No trades on the are available here. So now we got a few picks here. We got a few options right now. Now I don't think we're looking at. Let's look at a couple positions. At quarterback, running a little bit short on that. You have Austin Reed, you have Carter Bradley, but yeah, we'd have to wait. We're going to wait a little while for quarterback. At running back, Amani Bailey, Isaac Guerendo. Let's see if they put anything up on Guerendo. Guerendo, 6 foot even, 221 pounds, a 9.9 RAS. That would be a fine pick. Blake Watson, 5'9", 189, a little bit smaller, but still had a very good career at the University of Memphis. Jordan could be gotten later. Dylan Johnson's not bad. Rasheen Ali had a little injury at the Senior Bowl, but he seems to be just fine now. So there are some running backs as well. We're good at wide receiver. I'm not really looking at tight end right now. We have Greenfield or Jones to pick from. We took our guard. Not really looking at center right now. We did take a defensive tackle there, so even though there's some good ones. I will say the Jets, I believe, are talking to Christian Boyd. I think they had a meeting with Christian Boyd from Northern Iowa. Could be a target of theirs in the later rounds. At edge, Jonah Ellis would not. That's an interesting one. Muhammad Kamara, very good young player. You got some good linebackers in Jacobs and Eichenberg. I don't know Aaron Casey very well, but I know Jacobs and Eichenberg. Cornerbacks, Chow Smith-Wade. I've seen him as listed as a sleeper. I think Mel Kiper had him as a sleeper. Chow Smith-Wade. Mike the Stat Guy asking about Frank Gore Jr. Here's the thing with Frank Gore. Down, and down. He's ranked 475 on this list. Here's the thing with Gore. He's very smart, but he's only 5'7". He's my height. Yeah, I mean, very smart player, but he's got a limited role at best right now. So, to me, Gore, if you could get him as an undrafted free agent, you could bring him in, that'd be great. Put him on special teams. I'd be fine with that. I'm not using a pick here on him. It just wouldn't make sense this soon, man. But I like the idea. Yeah, he's really ranked that low. I know. And if his name wasn't Frank Gore, maybe he would be ranked even lower. You never know. Well, Guerendo is a pretty popular player as well. I'm going to scroll back up here to the top. Okay. There is an outside chance he makes it to 185. Guerendo does, but I don't know. So that's a little bit of a risk. If not, then we're looking at maybe a Steele, a Jordan, a Johnson, or an Ali with the later picks. Guys, I think we're going to go likely with tackle. So I'll tell you what, Greenfield or Jones. Oh, Mike the Stat Guy, what's Kamal Haddon ranked? Crushed the combine. Let's see. 325 overall, so he's not going to get drafted here. 325, man. David D wants Christian Jones. Mike the Stat. Referring to the cornerback. Yep, I got you. All right, I tell you what, I feel like most of the love has been for Christian Jones for a little bit now, so I'm going to go ahead and draft Christian Jones at pick 154. So now we got a developmental tackle along with Carter Warren and possibly Max Mitchell. Hopefully one or both of them would be ready to step up next year. So let's take Christian Jones. It would help if I left-clicked instead of right-clicked. All right, 185. All right, so let's do a quick recap on where we are, everybody. So first we took Brian Thomas, wide receiver, Tavondre Sweat, defensive tackle, Cole Bishop, safety, Malik Washington, wide receiver, and now we've addressed the offensive line with Zach Zinter and Christian Jones, and we've got 3 picks left to go. I definitely think a quarterback or running back should be taken at some point, and I would look for maybe a good developmental prospect somewhere on defense. Yeah, Mike, I think this is pretty dang good, right? Yeah, I like this draft. Josh Proctor at safety is not bad. Yeah, it looks like we lost out on a couple good players. Jaquan Jackson, we talked about him last week. Small, but a ton of speed. Jalen Coker, we talked about him too. Trey Taylor, oh man. If you guys watch my safety show, I like Trey Taylor. Christian Boyd, there goes Garendo at 178. Oh man. Guys, I'll tell you the truth. We're having a very good draft considering a lot of players that we'd be interested in keep getting taken. I saw Cornelius Johnson there from Michigan. He got taken also. All right. So you guys want me to go running back? Okay. Let's see what we have that's still out there. I don't know Tyrone Tracy very well. I'll be honest with you. 9.78 RAS. Okay. You know what, guys? I don't know who he is, but I'm going to pull up a scouting report on this guy. There's a Subaru Outback for sale in case anybody's interested. All right, let's see what was written about him. I guess he was at the combine. 6.18 grade. Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. Oh, we can watch. Let me maximize this. Let's watch him on the 40. He had a little bit of a head bob going there, didn't he? Isaac Garendo, best time. All right, so let's mute that. So 448, not bad. I'm not going to get too much in the shuttles here. Running back ranked 26, 5'11", 209 pounds, went to Purdue. Ooh, Purdue. 5'11", 209. All right, let's see if it lists strengths and weaknesses. Oh, look at the comparison here. Blow, pow. Okay, okay, okay. All right, Tracy was a full-time running back for 1 year but had exciting flashes. He's a bendy, rhythmic runner who sees and traverses. Lance, use regular words. The interior run lanes like he built the maze. I didn't hit anything, I promise. He creates additional yardage with a blend of elusiveness, power, and a willful desire to maximize each run. Needs to curb his eagerness to bounce runs wide when it's time to finish and move to the next step. Don't know if he has the acceleration. He's honing his skills as a runner. His ability to handle gadget runs and threaten linebackers out of the backfield could get him on the field early on. He's an older rookie, but versatility and burgeoning talent as a complementary runner, fine, should open evaluators' eyes to what he could become as a pro. That's not bad. That's not bad. Now, can he catch? I saw Mike the Sec guy asked that question. Special teams, spin moves, jump cuts, long strides. Some get to the corner, glides with consistent pace, elusive versatility. Starting background at receiver and running back. He has done it. All right, still learning from discipline. Needs balance here, moving the run downhill. Excessive forward lean can lead to some imbalance. Yeah, you saw the balance wasn't perfect there. He had a little head bob going there. I gotta tell you, I don't hate that. I don't hate that all that much. All right, so that's him. But you still have Blake Watson, George. If you guys want me to go with Tracy, is like he's going to be a complimentary guy. His ceiling looks to be a little bit low. but his floor looks to be pretty decent. Like, he looks like he could step in as a good NFL player, right? Dano, hey, good to see you on Jake's show the other day. I saw, yeah, it was good to see you on there. All right. This is interesting, guys. Remember, this is our last pick until 256 and 257. So these are the picks that we got to make sure we hit. So yeah, and yeah, my guy Jordan, my guy Jordan's probably going to go. If we don't get a running back now, it's probably Jason McClellan or Rasheen Ali. So if you want me to go with Tracy or Watson, I will do it. Steele's a green bean guy. Okay. You guys are funny. You know that? You guys are pretty funny. Just looking to see if there's any other positions here. If you want to get, and again, if you want to get an edge rusher, Muhammad Kamara is a very, very good pick. 6'1", 248. He could sort of be the next Bryce Huff. That might be saying a lot, but he's got that sort of thing. 16 and a half sacks in his career, 28 and a half tackles for a loss. He's not big. He's not the biggest. He's 6'1", 248, but good athlete, fights through contact, bends past the blocker to disrupt quarterbacks. He's got a little Will McDonald in him, too. Just in case anybody's thinking about an edge rush. I don't know. Dylan McMahon, yeah, we're doing okay over there, I think. Yeah, we took care of receiver. I think it's pretty much going to be quarterback, running back, or edge. I think that's pretty much where we're going. So, I'm going to get, let's see. Let's either do, these are the only quarterbacks. Reed, Tracy, or Kamara. Tracy, Reed, or Kamara, or I'll get. Well, you know what? Should I throw in Carson Steele? Should I throw in Steele? Yeah, I'll just put a few names on there. Yep, I know Bryce was an undrafted free agent, but that similar kind of player. That's all I meant, Arlen. I got you, man. I got you. All right. Okay, Reed, Tracy, Steele, and Kamara. All right. Mike, the stat guy. Where's Isaiah Davis ranked? I think Davis was already drafted. Yeah, Davis when? Pretty positive. Let's see. I'm positive I saw him. Yep. That was Tyler Davis. Never mind. There's Isaiah Davis. 140. He went to the Chargers, so he went a long time ago. David D. Edge or Steele? that sounds like some kind of like an 80s action movie. Edge or Steele? Man, we seem a little bit torn about this. We really do. We're a little bit torn. I think we're leaning running back, but we're having some problems here. Maybe I could pull up the Carson Steele report. Let's we looked at Tyrone Tracy. Let's look at Carson Steele. If I could find, hopefully he's in here. Did he go to the combine? All right. If he did, oh, that's Kalen Carson, isn't it? No. Guys, does anybody know if Carson Steele actually went to the combine? I don't know. Yeah, NFL Draft Buzz, that's a tricky website. I don't love it. I'm just going to click on Pro Football Network. That one's usually decent. All right, 6'1", 225. Owns a pet alligator. Carson Steele owns a pet alligator. All right, I'm sold. What? I'm surprised he didn't play for the University of Florida. Anyway. All right, large frame. All right, so this will give you a little bit more power. Workhorse back gets stronger as the game progresses. I got to say, guys, I like the idea of a power running back to sort of complement Brees and Izzy. There is something about that appeals to me. Can block well. I like that. Fades tackles. Very good in zone running schemes. That works well for the Jets. The weakness, he absorbs a lot of hits. Well, he'd be in a complementary role anyway. Quickness, agility, and speed are pretty average. Crafty, strong, could take a hit, keeps moving, has some sure area burst and agility, mastered the nuance of being a running back. The thing, though, is we're not really asking him to be a starting running back. We just want him to be like that third down guy. I don't know if he could catch the ball out of the backfield, though. I don't know if he's going to do that. Yeah, did it say anything about him receiving? Contribute as a pass catcher. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I think that's pretty good. Guy, I think I'm going to go with Steele here with this pick, if everyone's cool with that. Yeah, Steele or Tracy, either one would be cool, but I'm going to go ahead and take Carson Steele. Hope everyone's good with that. All right, and now we go to the end. The 7th round, the very end, when pretty much everybody has left, and it's just Joe Douglas's secretary's secretary, and that's all that's left. All right, Jawar Jordan, my guy's still there. Carter Bradley from South Alabama, if you want to get the quarterback. Mike wants Devin Leary. I think Devin Leary was drafted. No, he wasn't. Yeah, we could go Bradley or we could go Leary. All right, guys, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quarterback here because we got to address a quarterback somewhere. So I'm going to ask you guys, do you want Bradley or do you want Leary? Are you leery of Leary or are you leery of Bradley? 6'1", 215, accurate in the short area. All right. Smooth pocket operation, ability to manipulate pressure and create throwing hallways. I've never heard of it being called a hallway, but I'll go with it. Carter Bradley, they have still not written a thing about him. Matt O'Leary would have traded up for Michael Pratt. That's what Matt would have done. And I know Matthew likes Michael Pratt. I like Michael Pratt a lot too, but he went way early. Matthew Smith, take a quarterback and Mr. Irrelevant. Better story. You know what? I think that's a good idea. All right, we'll wait on the quarterback. So with the last pick, let's do a quick recap, everybody. We've had, I think, a really impressive draft. Brian Thomas, wide receiver. Tavondre Sweat, defensive tackle. Cole Bishop, safety. Those are the only 2 defensive players we've taken, though. Malik Washington, wide receiver. Zach Zinter, guard. Christian Jones, tackle. Carson Steele, running back. So if you're looking for a position we haven't addressed yet, we have not addressed edge rusher. We have not addressed cornerback. I feel like those might be some places to look at. So Nelson Caesar. 2 seasons, he has 7.5 sacks. Holds up as a run defender due to lack of lower body strength. Ooh, I don't know about that. All right. Any linebackers? Is Luke Reimer still available? No, Reimer went. A lot of times Luke Reimer drops. Mike the stat guy asks, is Jalen Harrell there? Yeah, Jalen Harrell, the edge from Michigan, he's at 357. Yeah, he's there. Yeah, Dane, definitely check out Zach Zinter. I happen to be a fan of his. I do like him. Been beat up a little bit. He's got a little wear and tear on him, but he looks like he could be really, really good. Yeah, you guys know I like Jalen Simpson, but, we took a very good safety already. Edge, don't really know these guys. I should know Nate Lynn because I live about a half hour away from William and Mary, but I don't know him. I'm not very impressed with these edge guys, I got to say. Now, on offense, we did take a running back. Right? We took Steele just now. You could take another one if you wanted to, but I don't know. Oh, we know, I think Anthony Gould, right? Yeah. Johnny's guy. David D asks, what are your plans for the drafts? I'm planning to hang out with the Virginia Jets fans at AJ Gators. for the first round. Second round, you know what? I will say this. Second round, if anybody's doing anything, I think I'll probably jump on that Friday. That would work well for me. And then Saturday, the Virginia Jets fans, we've got our annual chili cook-off. So we'll be having a little house party there for the with the chili cook-off going on. In fact, I'm ordering the chili cook-off trophy tomorrow. So, yeah, I think if I was to go on live or guest with anybody Friday, the second, third round, that would be the time for me to do it. So that's what I'm planning on. And probably drinking a whole lot of Yingling because I think they're like $3 Thursday night at the bar that we go to. All right, tight end. Ethan Driscoll's okay. Walter Rouse is okay. Clark Barrington's real from Baylor. He's really dropping. Yeah, I talked about Clark Barrington on a previous show, but he's really fell. Kingsley Aguakin, I like him. I happen to like him a lot. If you didn't want to go quarterback, I think Aguakin would be a good place to go. And I'm still going to defend Jawar Jordan. I don't care what anybody says. Just curious where Ryan Flournoy is ranked. Yeah, Flournoy has gone up, 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 up. Yeah, I'm getting to the point where I think Flournoy is going to go 6th round. So in this draft, Flournoy went, I'm going to say it was like, what, the end of the 6th round? Typically, that's typical for him. Oh my God, I can't find the guy. 191. So he went only a few picks after we took Steele. If you're going to get Ryan Flournoy, you pretty much got to go 6th round now, guys. Yeah, people know him now. David D, disqualify any chili that has beans in it. I have spoken. I'm going to part company with you on that one, David. I like the beans. Get more protein. It may not be Texas style, but it's more flavor and it helps to go a longer way. So, all right. Well, I think we could either go if you want to add one more offensive lineman with a Aguakin, you could. I'll put in both Bradley and Leary at quarterback, and I'm just going to go the best defensive player that I can, realistically. Caesar. Yeah, I'll throw in just like some random edge guy here. I don't know. I did not hit that. Okay. Stone, Bray, McGregor, Jalen Harrell. They mentioned Jalen Harrell. What the hell? I'll do that. Guys, I swear you're making up names now. All right. Holker. Oh, don't see the name. Butter. Richard Butter. Yeah. Teammates with Dan Druff. Unfortunately, my guy Jason Henderson ranked 547, nation's leader in tackles. But not going to get drafted. I just hope he gets a tryout somewhere. Okay, guys. Let's wind it down for the night. All right. So it's either going to be. All right. It's either going to be Bradley. I'm going to type this in. Leary. Kingsley. Or we'll just call it Caesar, the edge rusher from Houston, I believe it was. Yeah. All right. Yep. We know Mike wants Leary. Guys, who do we want to finish it off? Who is our Mr. Irrelevant? Mike the stat guy is Leary from Jersey? Is one of these guys from Jersey? Evan Leary, quarterback from Sicklerville, New Jersey. Oh, outstanding. And he previously played for the Wolfpack. Nice. Yeah, I will say this: the transfer portal blows, man. It's just, yeah. Dano with a good question. Strategically speaking, what are you looking for on day 3 this particular year? Right now, depth or future ceilings? Right now, depth is what I would say. I eventually it's like you want to pick some guys who can elite. You have a good feeling can make the roster. They may not be starters, but if they become reliable special teams players and backups for a few years, and you get that in the 7th round, there's nothing wrong with that. I'd be cool with that. Because that's one thing we have depth at certain positions, particularly on the defensive line, cornerback, but not many other tight end. That's another one. But not many other positions do we really have good, solid depth. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead with your wishes. I'm going to take Devin Leary, and that is going to, I believe, end the draft. At least it should. Oh, that's right. Oh, I took Leary at 256. Oh, okay, my bad. Nobody will know. Okay, Leary, and then all right, so we got the quarterback, and now we have one player left to take. I love Jordan, but I'm not going to do it. I think I want to get an edge project just in case. So I'm just going to finish this one off for us. I'm going to take Caesar. I'm going to finish it. All right. So let's see what that does. So this is our draft for tonight, guys. Let's take a look. So first, we traded down with the Rams, and we got picks 1952 and 154. And look what we turned those 3 picks into. We turned what would have been Terry and Arnold, and we turned that into Brian Thomas, probably a top 5 receiver in this class, Tavondre Sweat, a top 2 defensive tackle, and Christian Jones, a developmental offensive tackle who a lot of people like. I think that is a fantastic trade. Then pick 72, we took Cole Bishop, the safety from Utah, 111 Malik Washington from Virginia, giving us even more depth at wide receiver and making Alan Lazard even more irrelevant. 134, we took Zach Zinter. Oh, very, very good pick there. Christian Jones, the tackle from Texas, at 154. And then it was the man of steel, Carson Steele, at 185, running back from UCLA, giving us a little bit of a power jolt to our running game. 256, Devin Leary, stepping into that third quarterback role behind Aaron Rodgers and Tyron Taylor. And 257, the mystery edge rusher, the edge rushing project in Nelson Caesar. Guys, I think this is a good trade, and I'll go ahead and turn the sharing off. And man, alive, guys, man, yeah. Let's see. The grades look incredibly positive. Dano with an A minus, Nathan Colgrove with an A, Hank G with an A minus. I'm really sorry Modine's not here because we know he'd give it a D, and that's when he's in a good mood, right? Dano picking 32 next 2 years now, from your fingers to God's ears, or God's eyes. Mike the Stat Guy loves it. A+ Super Bowl. Yeah, we got some good drafts here. I mean, we got some good ones. Even with the wheel, it turned out halfway decent. So, 2028. All right. I ain't running for office though. I promise you that. I wouldn't even run for mayor, to be honest with you. Oh, Matthew Smith. F or Phenom. Okay. All good. A name like Modine, could he ever give out anything else? No. Keep the expectations low, and then I guess you're always pleasantly surprised. I guess that's some people's philosophy. I don't know. But it's the only thing I can think of. Oh, spin the wheel. Oh, guys, it's getting late. I don't know. Gotta be up a little bit early, but I'll tell you what, next week we will definitely pull the whel out. Yeah, I think maybe next week we'll have somebody on. We'll do it with somebody. The wheel's more fun when we get to do it together. So yeah, maybe next week I'll send out an invite, see who wants to come on. If somebody wants to do the wheel together, then we can do that. By the way, if you guys would like to email me, you should in the info on my channel, you can reach out if you'd like to come on or anything like that. If you have any thoughts, we could do that. And yeah, if you'd like to be a guest, you could do that. So want to make this a little bit more interactive. Think it'll be a little bit more fun because guy like me talk for 2.5 hours straight. It can be a lot after a while with no breaks and stuff like that. So yeah, all gas, no break is right, especially if your chili has beans in it. So, by the way, guys, I do have to ask your forgiveness. I have vegetarian chili earlier on today. I am sorry. Please forgive me for that. It was really, really good, though. It was homemade. It was good stuff. Mike Sub, thank you so much, Mike. Thank you. Thanks for doing that. Share with a friend. Tell somebody about it who might like the channel too, especially if you're a fan of the Mets, Jets, Rangers, or Knicks. They'll definitely have some content that you'll dig. And again, guys, if you're a WWE fan, I will be doing a prediction show this Friday night. The plan is to do it after SmackDown, so around 10 p.m. I'm planning to come on. I think unless something crazy happens, the plan is to go live. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we'll do a live WrestleMania prediction show. So let's see how that goes. So if you're into that, come on by and check it out. Yeah, I know. I got to tell you, I made it pretty good. It was pretty good. I know. Yeah, you know, hey, I was visiting my mom. She's having a friend or two over. They're trying to eat well. Wants to make the veggie chili for a friend, so I helped and I took some home. What do you want? There wasn't any tofu or any shit like that in it. And I made it pretty spicy too, so it was not lacking heat. Yeah, no, yeah, I mean beans, corn, mushrooms, zucchini, tomatoes, onions, garlic. Yeah, pretty much the usual stuff. All right, Harlan, I'll agree with the first half. I'll agree with the first half of your sentence. I put it this way: we don't really know what's in a regular hot dog. I can't imagine what's in a vegetarian hot dog. I think the only time I've had tofu when I wasn't completely repulsed by it was when I went to. You ever been to one of those create your own stir fry places, like a Mongolian barbecue? They're like what BDs. That's a pretty popular one, or Genghis Grill. That's a pretty popular one too. I had like a piece or two of tofu one time. So when I put it in between a piece of steak and a piece of chicken, the tofu actually tasted pretty good. When you surrounded it with enough protein, it's pretty good. Probably not into the spicy stuff. All good. Yeah, I could take some heat. Like if I'm getting like wings out, I typically go medium, like maybe half medium, half hot, something like that. But I tend to like dry rubs more than I like sauces because that way your fingers don't get all messed up as much. And yeah, I like to taste the seasoning. That's kind of what I do. That's kind of my thing. Yeah, it's good stuff, especially when you get the all you can eat. You just go back up as many times as you want. You put whatever meats, vegetables, uh, rice or noodles you want, whatever sauces you want, mild, spicy. Yeah, however you like to do it. Sometimes you can throw like an egg in there. Sometimes they give you this hot sesame seeded flatbread. Just got to find a good one. And yeah, it's fantastic. Especially in times like this when, going out to eat is, man, it just gets worse and worse, doesn't it? But that's kind of like that could be like most of the places they'll give you like a one bowl charge or a multiple bowl charge, so it kind of makes sense. Yeah. So you put everything in the bowl and then you give it to the chef, and they got like a big round flat top, and they just kind of cook everything there in the chopsticks, and then they put in the bowl, cook it up for you, give it right back. It's really fun. Fun. Never laid eyes on tofu. My area isn't very cultured. I hear you. Mine's not very either. No. We actually do have in Newport News, we have a bit of a Korean population. There's some places that serve Korean fried chicken, strangely enough. But as far as the Chinese go, yeah, the other stuff, there's a PF Chang's right across the street from me that I could walk to if I wanted. But yeah, some of the other stuff, pretty hard to find. That's okay. Honestly, most of my Chinese food comes from Trader Joe's, the frozen stuff, the Kung Pao chicken, the beef and broccoli, the orange chicken. That's it. That's about all I do. It's good enough for me. And it's cheap. It's cheaper than a restaurant. So Mike the Stat Guy, how often are you live? Every Wednesday, 10 p.m., man. I do that. I've done a little bit of live streaming. Like a week and a half ago, I live streamed the Islanders Devils game. I am a Ranger fan, but I did watch that game live and went through that, even though my voice was killing me that day. I was dealing with a little bit of a sinus thing. I don't know what it was, but yeah, every now and then I'll do a live stream if I have the time and I have the coverage. I don't often do a live stream for one of my teams because I just get too crazy and I'll just have a breakdown on air. But yeah, every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. So yeah, you can put the notifications on. Like hit the bell. That'll let you know every time I go live or I post a video. All right, guys, I want to thank you all very, very much for joining me tonight. You made this show a whole lot of fun. Yep, I'm not quite Jake or Buffalo. I don't record quite as much as they do. God bless them, but I got a full-time job and 2 side hustles. So yeah, there's a lot to do. And I spent a lot of time. Seriously, I spent a lot of time researching for this show, making the slides, doing the research, doing all that shit. It takes time, but I enjoy doing it because I think it's a different way to present it, and I think it's good. And I think and the vibe I get is that you all like it for the most part too. So, but if you ever have any suggestions or any ideas on how I can make it better, I accept that. I appreciate it because I want to keep making it better, not just for me, but for you. Thank you, man. I appreciate your support. Thank you. Good night, my friend. Good night, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. And I'll see you right back here with more content from you all know where. The Wicker Chair. We'll see you later, everybody.